Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Are you okay? In your neck of the
When we dry them up, too cool. No go too deep, you know. Yeah, you have to watch Joe, you know. Our troops, see there? Apple cider vinegar and our troops. Come up right, make them get saturated in the gravy and all of that. On today's episode of the Jamaican Cooking Journey, I'll be sharing with you how to make some callaloo loaf. We're going to be doing like mini ones, you know, something like cocktail, appetizer, something like that. We got our callaloo here, cleaned, washed, and all shredded. So we're going to leave that for now to showing you. But there is a video right on the channel here that we have uploaded almost 4 years ago, or over 4 years a little, showing you how to prepare your callaloo for steaming. So we're going to be coming to steam that, but first of all, we are going to be, from here loaf, you know, we are going to be preparing a dough, and we're going to be using yeast. This recipe calls for yeast dough. So in here I've got some all-purpose flour right here. Yeah, I've got 2 cups to be exact in here, and I've got an additional 3/4 of a cup right there. Gonna add a little brown sugar. I'm gonna add the yeast. Now you're gonna be needing like a 1/2 cup of warm water, and when I say warm, I mean the temperature should be just the real temperature of you like making a baby's bottle, or like your blood running through, you know, that sort of temperature. I've got here 1 teaspoon of salt. So what we normally do, you don't put the salt directly onto the yeast. It will kill the yeast. As you know, if you're new here or if you're not, if you have ever experienced any experience in making yeast dough, you are not supposed to put the salt directly on the yeast. You could do it other ways. You could put the salt in and then mix it around with the flour, then you add your yeast and whatever, but there are so many ways of doing it. So I'm opting to dissolve my salt in there. Right here I've got right in here, we are using our stand mixer today, and we're gonna get our dough attachment. I'm gonna be putting in about 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. We're gonna get our dough mixer all in, and we are going to be throwing about 1/4 cup of our warm water. You could use some milk, warm milk, but I'm just choosing to use water. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be mixing to get this dough come into the form of a ball. But as we mix, if it gets too soft, we'll add a little flour, and I'll show you how you had it. Okay, so we have this additional amount of flour in case it gets too soft. Okay, so we're going to be starting on speed 1, mixing all our ingredients around with our dough. We're going to get that mix around and we come back. So remember that you have got to stop a little to push down, and also to bring what is at the bottom to the top, because these mixers with these deep bowls, and they are not like the ones that you can adjust to bring the bowl up. So you got to stop sometimes and perk it around a bit. Continue mixing on the low, and then we're gonna mix and mix until we have a a soft dough ball. It is supposed to come up in one on this paddle attachment, and we are supposed to have it sticky and soft, but still not sticking to our hand. We're gonna get that done and return. Soft and nice, so we clean it off. Yeah, and this is it. So we mixed about 5 to 7 minutes. And you see, you have to have the sides of your bowl all that clean when you're using your hand mixer. If you're using your hand, then you might want to go and check, sprinkle lightly with a little of the extra flour. Well, we did not use it, but you still have to have it. So, and if you want more, you have got to increase your recipe or double up on your recipe. So as I was saying, if you wanted to do, you could do this by hand, but you'll have to do a little slapping like what you see I did there in the bread video. And if you did not see it, you might want to go check that bread video out. Now the mixer has done all the kneading, so you don't need any kneading and pushing and pulling. You just want to get this very, you know, in a ball, just soft. You see how soft it is? Yeah, that's how you want it. You just wanna, yeah, so you don't want to put a lot of flour now to harden the dough, because I'm showing you how soft it is. And you don't want to put any butter in this dough. You want it coming out more on the white side as opposed to the light cream or yellow side with the butter. So we're putting it together, you know, just like not a lot of hard kneading, getting it or continue with it in a ball. Gonna leave this piece of dough to proof for 1 hour in a greased container. Reason, you don't want it, as it rises, you don't want it sticking to the bowl. So you just go and grease the bowl to the sides and to the bottom. And also you're gonna put this and move it around in there. Make sure it's in a ball shape. It will rise and come up, spread to the sides. 1 hour. I'm gonna put a piece of plastic wrap over it. Leave it in a warm place, the warmest place in your kitchen, for 1 hour. I'm gonna leave this piece of dough to proof for 1 hour in a greased container. Reason, you don't want it, as it rises, you don't want it sticking to the bowl. So you just go and grease the bowl to the sides and to the bottom. And also you're gonna put this and move it around in there. Make sure it's in a ball shape. It will rise and come up, spread to the sides. 1 hour. I'm gonna put a piece of plastic wrap over it. Leave it in a warm place, the warmest place in your kitchen, for 1 hour. All done and dusty, and I'm gonna be putting a towel over it, giving it more, you know, keeping it even warmer, right on top of my stove under my range hood. And I can tell you that in Jamaica here the temperature is really warm. In the next clip we will be preparing for our filling, which is steamed callaloo. Now we are going to be move on to steaming our callaloo, but we're not going to be showing it in this video, unfortunately, because we have done a video also showing you how to get your callaloo steamed off properly, more than one. So we will get this at some point, maybe at the end of the video or somewhere there, where you can either click on that link or you'll see that there, how we steam our callaloo. So in the next clip, my callaloo will be properly steamed and left to be cooled. It must be cooled. My dough should be fermented, and I will come to show you how to start making these little mini callaloo loaves, how we prepare them. Moving on, cooking fam, our dough has been proofed. You know the norm with the yeast dough, it's still warm. We always punch it down to release that extra gas that the yeast has produced. Yeah, our callaloo has been steamed, and let me tell you, this must be properly cooled. Yeah, properly cooled. Now we are going to be dusting this lightly, really lightly, our area, and we are going to be rolling out our dough. We're going to be forming small little crescent rolls. My sheet pan is here. You can grease with butter, or you can just I have this olive oil spray, so I'm just doing it like generously. One kind of way, yeah. So we got our rolling pin, and I'm going to be using some of this flour to dust my rolling pin as I roll out my dough, because I don't want it to be sticking. Now you don't want it to be rolling in any specific shape right here, as we're going to be cutting little circles from it, but you don't want to roll it out too thin. You want to roll it out to probably about a 1/4 inch thick or thereabout. Whether you want to do it in a circle, you want to do it in a square, rectangle, triangle, it doesn't matter, because we're just going to be getting some little circles. Now I'm going to be using this. I'm looking for cocktail, like cocktail patty and so I'm going to be using this. Let me roll this down a little bit more. Yeah, so you want to have it like about this. I'm going to be cutting out one right here. Now you want to flour. You want the base, the bottom of each one to have some flour on it. I'm going to be rolling out it a little bit, a little more, keeping it on the circle, on the circular side. Okay, now that it's on the circular side, I'm going to be putting in some of this cooled steam callaloo. I'm going to be putting it to half. Oh, this is my time. Putting it in. You're going to take your time right here, family. You need to use your hands. Yeah. So you want to put it to one side. And you want to lift. Yeah. Leaving a little space there. You want to lift and pull. And when you want to come right over. And then you want to seal with the back of a spoon or a fork. I don't use the teeth of the fork. I use right here. So I'm going to be folding it. Make sure you seal properly. And this is enough to seal it. And you want it to look like this. You want it to be looking like this. Plump like this. As if you're making a patty. So you want to go again. Yep. And you want to make sure you reseal and you have it like that. Carrying it out. Carrying it out. Having this little look, that little plump look right there like a patty. Yeah. And you are not going to prick these. We don't prick loaves and we don't prick patty. Perfect, perfect cocktail size. I'll make another one for you. So you want to put it right there, leaving it a little space from there. And we're going to do another one just for you. Remember, don't prick. Let's roll our dough out a little bit again. Keeping it like about a 1/4 inch. We're going to be cutting another one. I'll do one more for you. Another one. And you can use what you like. Cocktail, more like that size there. Get it like this. Make sure where you are rolling it out, it has some flour to the bottom to add to that grease on the bottom of the tray. Gonna give it another little roll gently. You don't have to press down. You don't have to put a lot of pressure. The side that has the most flour, we're working with that part to put it onto the tray. Get your callaloo, keeping it on the circular as always. Putting it to one side, keeping it a little away from the edge, and all of that. Next patient, we are giving the same treatment right around here. You're gonna fix it a little now to let it be. Yeah, you want callaloo in the loaf. You're gonna gently come, lift, and come right over. Use your fork. You can turn. So you see, the callaloo, the filling must be cool, because if you put the hot filling or warm filling in there, the dough is gonna start just like melting. Okay, I'm gonna be doing the same thing. As I told you, if you want to use the teeth of your fork, go ahead, lift and fold over, lift. You don't have to use any water or anything like that to seal. Go back again, reseal, reseal. Yeah, keeping it with that little height there. Remember, don't prick. We have got the second one. This is what it looks like. We're going to finish the others and return. Here we go. We're going to proof it again for about 20 minutes. Okay, and with plastic wrap on top. Please do not pull it down to give it any pressure. It must be covered loosely. It's going to proof again. And then we come back. We're going to have our oven preheat it at 350. Then we're going to be brushing with a little melted butter and set to bake. Our oven is preheated. We have our second proofing in, and we are about to start baking. Right here I have me some melted butter, and to this melted butter I'm going to add about a teaspoon of olive oil. We're going to mix them together and return. And I know you're going to say, these are not mini Debbie. Yes, these are mini for us in Jamaica, because our regular meatloaf or vegetable loaf, very gently you're going to brush with this melted butter and a little olive oil. Yeah, I know you're going to say, yes, but the regular one would be bigger than this, but this first one is extra big. Yeah, but you know that the first one, it have to be different. So we are going to brush, and then we're going to put them in the oven, and as I said, 350. With these are going to stay maximum 25 minutes, and we'll return. Okay, family, just out from the oven. Remember I told you not to prick them? No, don't prick them. You don't prick like meatloaves and patties. We don't prick them. You need to let it stay in there. They are to end up with this plump look. So therefore, the callaloo wasn't 100% cooked, I should have told you. So we left it in there to be properly cooked with that steam. Same for patties too. The mince, well, the mince should be properly cooked then, but you need that plump look. So you don't prick your patties, neither do you prick meatloaves. And we did I'm brushing it with a little more of the same melted butter. I'm gonna leave it to cool down because I want to open, want to let you see what it looks like. So I'm gonna be leaving the top all moist. Remember I tell you not to put any butter in there. You don't want it finished with too much of a, you know. Remember we did the butter on the top because we want to keep it moist, and it came out like this. But you don't put butter in there when mixing the dough, because it's gonna come out too yellow. It's a loaf, callaloo loaf. And I was saying we have the vegetable loaf, is it, camera girl? And we also have the meatloaf done on Patreon. On this very YouTube channel here too, we also have the ackee loaf that we did some years ago. And these are all cooled down. I'll come back to show you, break open one and let you see. So this is our finished callaloo loaf, and you know the proof of it is for me to break open to show you one. They're hot. They're supposed to be had warm though. You want to break it, and this is what it looks like. You see how moist your callaloo is there, and you got your pastry there all made and all of that. This is it. From my kitchen to yours, from my Jamaican kitchen to your family table, to your palate, and most of all to your stomach. It is Jamaican Callaloo Loaf. Please do enjoy. Done for you from the very beginning to the end. Now if you have liked this video, remember to give it a big fat thumbs up. Remember to make sure that you're subscribed to the Jamaican Cooking Channel. When you do subscribe, remember to hit that notification bell. And don't forget to press the option that says all. Therefore you'll be notified each time I go live or whenever I post another video. The ackee loaf is there on the channel if you'd like to get more in depth with the vegetable loaf, most of all the minced beef loaf. The link to my Patreon page will be in the description of this and all my other videos and live. Click on it. These are sold in the patty shops in Jamaica. but the pastry is totally different from the patty. You know, it doesn't carry that amount of grease and all of that. And remember to support my merch. We have our water bottles, the time is hot, we've got cushions and all of that. Support your girl. Remember to be you, do you. Most of all, love you, and try making some of these callaloo loaf.